What I'm looking forward to right now in life is all the exciting things that are happening around me every day. Being able to share with you who I am. The girl, Miss Monae, in hotter than hell, Las Vegas, Nevada, and outside or something like that is crazy. And I'm like, okay, weather. But we're here and we are about to embark on an amazing journey today because I have two of my favorite people on earth joining me, and it's going to be an awesome conversation. If you guys don't know who Skylar Jordan and Tracy Nelson is, I'm sorry. Y'all about to find out today. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them right on in. My girls. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Skylar Jordan, Miss Tracy Nelson, we're talking about it. I'm just so happy you guys are here joining me because, again, the purpose of me doing this is to have this platform that it helps me be who I am because I want a talk show. It allows me to give my people their flowers. And this is my giving my flowers to y'all because you guys deserve everything. And I say that with the utmost respect, love, and admiration. You know how I feel about both of y'all. Your stories are just so amazing. And I don't think a lot of people probably know just not so much everything that you guys have ever done, but just being pioneers in it as well. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a certain sound that has curated and transcend not just in our state of California, but all over the world. And it's so important that this is understood and people realize that junk started with my two girls, Tracy Nelson and Skylar Jordan.
Yay! Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. So
we've been trying to get
everybody. First and foremost, who is Tracy Nelson and who is Skylar Jordan?
Man. Tracy is this chick from South Central LA because I grew up around Dr. Dre and all of them, the whole bit and everything. But I mean, I didn't even do singing in school. I was into nursing. That's all I was going to do, right? Just period. And then my mother dared me to sing in a beauty pageant. Then she dared me. She said, "You singing all around in bathtubs and stuff like that. You need to sing." So this is pretty much how it happened. It didn't happen in church. I was Seventh-day Adventist, so we don't do the gospel.
Right.
So it was just kind of like I kind of had Andre Crouch and them in my family and kind of just swung on into this. So
that's right.
That's who I am. It was in me. So Seventh-day Adventist didn't take it there. It was something else.
Hilarious.
Born and raised. And then I remember Dre and them at Jeff D's Eve After Dark and all that stuff. I actually did do one show with Miss Chalet back in the day. Shout out to Miss Chalet. Shout out to Dre. So it just kind of, I think everything, I went on tour. I went on tour a lot. Barry White was my first tour. After that, we just kept going and going. So
we're going to get into all of that. I get my
job. West Coast love.
That's what's up. And Miss Skylar Jordan. Who is Skylar Jordan?
Miss Skylar Jordan. I'm a singer, songwriter, granddaughter of a pastor. So, I grew up singing in church, and you might say I was his opening act. So I would always sing before he delivered the message.
Okay.
I got a lot of that in me. I was born Texas, Lott, Texas. Shout out to my people in Lott. But I was raised right here in South Central LA, just like Tracy. The crazy thing about it, we didn't meet each other until we became adults. Right. But we have so many people in common just by being raised. But I sang around the city from elementary, being in Los Angeles and all throughout my whole life. So, yeah.
Nice.
That is nice.
See, just LA people.
LA people.
So, I mean, and I say that, jokingly because, when I moved to SoCal from Oakland, I was an implant. And then I came across so many people that came from other places. And I was like, well, when am I reach somebody who's born and raised right here?
Yeah.
Then I met y'all. So, Tracy, how long have you been singing? You said it was a dare from your mom.
If you want to go back to the bathtub, I would say since I was about maybe 14. I'd say 14 to 12. Thank you, Mom, Lucretia Nelson. And it just kept going on and on and on. I enjoy it. I love it. It became, you're born with so many gifts.
Right.
This is probably one of my third gifts. you know, but definitely a gift, definitely a blessing. And I've met so many beautiful people such as yourself. And it's just love, you know, and Cali love don't just stay here. It's all around the world. So
That's right.
Absolutely. It's Skylar.
around the world. So we love y'all no matter where you are.
And I'll say one of Tracy's beautiful gifts is her heart. I mean, she's one of the most caring, loving person I have ever met. Yes.
Y'all see that? See how long have you been singing? I mean, I know you since a kid, opening act for Grandpa in the church.
Yeah.
And it started from there, and then did you get the bug and you just said, okay, you know what, this is what I'm gonna keep on doing? But
oh, I had the bug at 6 years old. The minute that other people realize I can sing, because I didn't know. Honestly, I thought everybody could sing. Not realizing as a kid that this is a gift that God has given to each and every one of us. You know, we all have gifts, but this was my specific gift. Shy little girl, but I would sing. You know, that I had no problem doing that. So that's been my first love and my forever love. I've done a lot of work starting in a band here. I was the lead singer in a band called Potential back in the day with Ricky Minor, who was our bass player and singer, and Ricky's uncle we were well known in the area, in the community, winning all sorts of battle of the bands. And so I've been doing it all my life. And then one thing led to another. You get the calls to do the Eric Benet's, and you get the calls to do the Boss Gags, and you get the Monae. You know, of course, we met during Eric and moved on with a whole bunch of different artists together. But that call from Fletcher, who needed some vocalists, and I'll give a shout out to Daryl Ross because he's the one that recommended me. And then Nancy brought me in, and of course, the rest is history. She said, you know any other girls? So yeah, of course I do. So at the time, I didn't know you, Miss Monae, but Dorothy Coleman Pincus and Danette Williams, aka Penny Powers, and of course, my girl Tracy Nelson. So that was the beginning of our hip hop or rap, you know, starting in 1993.
Wow.
93, the first single out that I was on was Murder Was the Case.
Wow.
You know, so I've been in this rap
game.
Oh
my God. We got some history. Y'all don't even understand just the vast history that's about to come down the pipeline today. Just all this information. I mean, it's like, oh God, I've been excited all day about this one. And so both of you guys, I mean, singing inspirations and everything. Who are some of your singing inspirations? You're like, okay, I have this thing, I got this gift, I got the bug. But who was like an inspiration? Who inspired you to be like, that's what I'm talking about?
Well,
me, you, which
Tracy.
I went to school with a girl named Deidre Woods, and Deidre her father used to make us drive her to Vegas. She's cousin of Gladys Knight. First cousin, and her father created the Pips, the whole bit, and he used to make us drive to Vegas because he would fall asleep. So I met Gladys, and I just saw her on stage at the Aladdin long time ago, and I said, oh my God, I got chills. You know, I was just like, oh my God, do I really want to do this? I'm gonna do this, right? So that's basically, I would say Gladys all the way for me, because that lady right there, she just won't stop. Can't stop.
She's amazing.
Skylar?
That's well, I'm a big old pot because so much was infused, even starting with my stepdad, who dared me to another dare, Tracy. I was in there to do Aretha. He said, if you can't sing Aretha, you ain't singing. So, you know, I had to do some Aretha. I love me some Aretha. But, you know, but even on going up, Shaka Khan, because she was so sassy, and, you know, her little moves, and Stephanie Mills, Denise Williams, but even before that, Miss Boss, Diana Ross, and Tina Turner. I mean, all that's infused in me. I grew up with all of that.
Wow. Wow. I mean, just to hear, like, you know, understand, like, you know, the guy who started the Pips, just that. I'm today years old with this information. I'm like, whoa, mind blown. What?
Right. That was my whole girl in high school, I tell you.
Crazy. So, I mean, like, you know, fast forwarding now, it's like, you know, so you've grown up, I got the bug, and now you guys are starting to work and everything. Tell me Tracy, what was your first, like, when you was like, oh shit, this is for real?
Oh, I would say I was in a group called Mocha. But I think I would say Barry White. Barry White was like, oh my God, I'm going to Europe. I'm
Right.
gone. You know, straight out of nursing. I told everybody at Martin Luther King Hospital, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Right.
I was gone, and I was gone for months. That icon right there
Yeah.
is Mr. White is not to be played with. He was real about his music,
Absolutely.
real about the potential. And I toured with him. I did 3 tours with him, and he was amazing. I'm still
Virgo
very
man.
good friends with his family.
And he was a Virgo man.
And he's a Virgo. Yes, he was. Y'all serious about your stuff.
Yeah. What was it for you when you realized, like, oh snap, this shit is real?
From the beginning, I knew from the total beginning that this is it for me. This is all I want to do, you know.
Mhm.
But I think the touring aspect, and believe it or not, I mean, was younger, but my first tour was a group called LTD. I was like really excited, like Tracy, I'm right out of school, and that's so funny how our stories really are similar. And so I know your story too about right out of school. So yeah, that was my first tour. It was exciting, and being in it, the lights, the audience, all of the energy that comes back to you, especially when they like you.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
I mean, it's unbeatable. That's a high that you can never buy.
Absolutely.
Natural.
This is
With Leslie Wilson had taken Jeffrey's spot at that time.
Well, I'll fast forward into my next question for the both of you. I know your backgrounds and I know your history. I know your discographies and things like that, but some of our watchers probably don't know. If you ladies can give us, you know, just a little tad bit of your discography, and I mean like artists you've worked with on a live setting and in a recording setting. Tracy.
Dr. Dre, the icon,
Yes.
the one that started this. Woo!
Yes.
If you're free.
I don't know. I can just say that he is a perfectionist. He's not to be played with either.
Right.
He's an Aquarius and he's a perfectionist. I mean, just being in the studio every time, I was nervous every time because you never know what he wants and you just never know when he's going to come back and change it and everything. But he was the epitome of just the rap, period. Point blank for me. This is where it begins, and he added everybody in, so the soup just kept getting thicker and thicker. It just, everything just gelled, and you know, I appreciate him. I appreciate everything he brought to the table. So you know, he didn't care what time it was. He needed it done.
Right. Wow.
More respect for him. Absolutely. West Coast, more respect. Absolutely.
Well, I know you did Dre and everything, but I also know you went on tour with like people like Jennifer Lopez and Christina Aguilera.
When I was Jennifer Lopez, Christina Aguilera, my girl Christina, that girl right there. Nothing to play with either. I've been on tour with, I would say, God, Mary J. Blige, my sister. Like you and Skylar, she's just, I can't describe her. She's a blessing. I can't, because I can't really describe you guys. You guys are just blessings to me. And her tour it was more for the heart with her, because I see her and I feel, it's like everything she sings, you can feel.
Yeah.
And that was like a beautiful tour for me. I'd love to go back out with her.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg, of course, y'all know. This boy, I love him. This man is incredible. You know, so he's easy to work with, and we did exhibit, toured with, I did some stuff with Mac 10, incredible brothers, incredible people.
Any of these people, like,
and
fave? I mean, out of everybody you think about, I mean, does anybody get like your fave, or you just can't really put a fave on nobody?
Because they all have a purpose.
Right.
They all have a purpose in where I was and what I was doing at the time.
Right.
And as far as females are concerned, that's kind of hard because Christina and Mary are like, you know, but I would say probably Mary on that tip. Anastasia was beautiful too.
Yeah,
she was, I mean, we lived in Paris. So thank you, Stasia.
Yeah.
Love you, girl. But I would say everybody, it was a purpose for every time that every person came into my life for me to tour. I was chameleon. I changed up to whatever it was. I adapted to whatever it was.
Absolutely.
It just, I drew it in. I put it out and I drew it back in. So it was good. Everything all the tours were something to learn from.
Right. Skylar, you?
Okay, discography and tours. I mean, we've done so much. I'm gonna say from, of course, Dr. Dre, everybody under his roster, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube is in a league all himself. We've done a lot with Ice Cube. Mac 10, who did I miss? Let me see, girl. I have to pull my discography because there's so much more. Nate Dogg, Funk Classic.
Nate, the pride I got right now for y'all right now. Ooh, child.
Yeah, and see, 50 Cent, Exhibit, Nas. You know, we're on, and last but definitely not least, Dr. Dre. And I just want to give a shout out and thank him so much for putting us on so much amazing music.
Yes.
Starting with the anthem of California, California Love.
Absolutely.
You know, and again, a shout out to Penny and Danette and Dee, because we sang on that. And Jeep also put us, well, our voices are in the Jeep commercial. So that's more ching, 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 ching. We love Jeep for, you know, but it's played on what? All of the sports, everything dealing with California.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny. You go into that, you talk about that, because that's one of my next questions I want to ask you. You know, being on all these like iconic records, like you said, California Love and everything. And I want to shout out the both of you for bringing me into the fold to actually work with Dre as well. Yes. We got a chance to work on Eminem's record, and this Eminem's record was one of the records that garnered not just platinum status, but diamond status. And so to be on a diamond status record, you feel me? I mean, it gives me joy, you know. But being on all these iconic records, did you think it would be what it was when you were recording them? And think about those times when you were, Skylar, in the studio and y'all doing you know, and it felt good to you. But could you even imagine? Here we are, 50 years later, in hip hop and California Love. You said about
93, yeah.
You know. And I mean, was Pac there when you guys did your part, or any of that, or what?
Pac was not there. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet him, but it's such an honor and a privilege to be on something that's lifetime with him. But no, he wasn't there. I think Roger was in the studio.
Wow.
And yeah. So he also amazing and just all around nice cat. But no, you know, I just had no idea. We were just happy to be in the studio working with Dre. We're like, what? You know, and get the call. It's like, Dr. Dre, you know, would you like to come in and do some vocals for Dr. Dre? I'm like, would I like to?
Stop what you doing and just go.
You just go.
Yeah.
But no, I had no clue. It's mind blowing how this is still very prevalent, very present today.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that was, what was California Love? That was early 2000, right? I don't have my date.
I mean, and it's like, you know, for the both of you, you walk into the studio and Dre calls you in the morning, you guys, all right, we here and everything. And you walk in creatively. Was it already lined out for you, or did space to develop, or what's that process like? Let the people know, walk them into their, you know, how does it work?
I think, you know, he didn't do morning. He did evening, but it could go into morning, because like I said, you can be sitting there and he'll get a great idea, and then all of a sudden it's like, I think I'm gonna change my mind. And then about 2 hours later, we're sitting there in the lounge and we're like thinking of stuff to go with it. And then he comes in and he says, I think I'm gonna change it. I was like, oh. Okay, so varies on the time, but never like, I mean, we would probably leave 3 hours in the morning, but never to where you get there in the morning. That would be, yeah, it was different at times. I mean, but we had the luxury of the lounge. We had the luxury of the studio, you know, so we were comfortable, but you just couldn't leave. You had to stay around just in case an idea, the light bulb came up.
I recall days going in at 10 in the morning and not leaving until 10 the next morning. All night. Yeah. Like Tracy said, it was comfortable. I mean, we had anything that we needed, and even taking little power naps somewhere, you know, on the sofa or whatever.
In the studio, but it's still a thrill to get a call. And it's still a thrill to be in that, I guess, the whole circle of it, you know, because everybody was everybody, and they came to the studio, and everybody worked to get something done for him. And then I remember Seagal was one of his engineers, and Seagal would write down whatever Dre was, drinking at the time or whatever, chronic, whatever, and just kind of, jot down what he was doing to get that particular sound that he wanted. So it was it was masterful.
Wow.
How
he had to revisit.
done.
Now,
Yeah.
Ice Cube was a different story.
Okay.
Ice Cube, very business, and he called you in. He pretty much knew what he wanted, but it's up to us to bring it, into life, and we're done. We're like, oh, that was pretty quick. But yeah, Ice Cube was really all about his business. Cool as heck. One of the coolest people you want to meet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ice Cube.
Love to Cube. Yeah.
One of our brothers too. So.
Yeah. For the both of you, and probably maybe Tracy even more so, because I know she kind of was raised around the Compton area. We saw the iconic movie Straight Outta Compton, reliving a lot of that and going back into that time frame. Was it pretty much, just what we saw visually and everything, as far as, at that time, we were looking at this transition of going from, coming out of Eazy-E and then, Dre, and going into what became Death Row.
Yeah.
But this is where we came in with Snoop and Dog Pound and all that. Like, was the morale really, really just like that?
It was definitely like that. I mean, I came from the times where you were sitting on top of the lowrider and the lowrider bouncing, Terry Carter and, and all of them. But I actually, the Crips and the Bloods and being chased home and the parties and so on and so forth, everything that they depict in those shows is definitely what it was.
Wow.
And I remember many times running home from parties and stuff. And, as a matter of fact, I think he gave us a ride one night. We were running from Eve After Dark. So it was kind of, hey, that's easy, like that. And him selling tapes out of the trunk, and everybody had their hustle. Everybody had a hustle. And like I said, hustling goes around the world. Yeah. Everybody has a hustle. And you get to where you get to. We didn't have none of this, which we have now, to get our information out. But yeah, I think
during a time where, being from the Bay Area in Northern California, we wasn't really hip to that red and blue genre. You guys were right in the middle of a lot of that, but it's something about the music. The music pretty much merged these worlds together, because, out in the streets it was one thing, but in that studio, you have a Crip like a Snoop come through.
You got the Mac and the Mac 10, and you've got the Snoop, and you've got the blue rag, and you got the red rag. I remember Snoop teasing me. He said, Trey, you're probably the only one that could just straight go from working with somebody wearing a red rag to a blue rag. I was like,
we definitely did it.
Wow.
Yeah, we were purple. We didn't care.
I was purple.
True. We were like, we don't bring that to the table. We just want to work with y'all. We just hope that everybody, could get along. I really never had issue with any of the rappers. And people ask me, they're like, don't you care about them saying those words? And I said, listen, I was raised properly. I know what is what. These are words, and this is how they lived. That's it. They treated me proper. They treated Skylar properly. Yes. We were good. We're safe. We respect them.
And we were told later on, once, they got to know us better. And it's like, we treat people how they come in. You want to come in one certain kind of way, that's the way we'll treat you. We always went in as ladies about our business. We were cool. We weren't like, stuffy or anything like that, but we were ladies. And that's how we were treated, respectfully. I remember one of Nate's engineers said he was so happy to see me. And I'm like, what's going on? He says, when you come, he said, we get so much done. It's like, no, it's still about our business. So let's get the work done.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to be in that environment, we all hear the records, we all know what they say, it just ain't that, but and it's crazy because, to be such a lady and be all that, and because I know, I call myself classy ratchet, I'm just classy all day, but at the same time, and you can't help but just to be bouncing to it, but you like,
you can't help it. My godmother told me, she said, you are what you answer to.
Hello, that's a good one.
Never answer to nothing else but Tracy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy because there's a producer named Damian Young, goes by Demiza, and he did a lot of Nate and a lot of West Coast stuff. And he would call me thug princess. He said, because you sing on all this thug music. He said, but you're really a princess. And I'm like, so I thought that was really cute.
You really are.
Like,
Sometimes I find myself protecting her. She really is.
Tracy always protect. You always protect. Thank you, Trey. And Monae too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, to end up on all this hip hop, now mind you, you guys are R&B princesses. I mean, just queens. Like I said, Tracy singing with Barry White.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? Skylar, you singing with LTD. This is like some real iconic music.
Yeah.
And then now here your voices are just stamped and for perpetuity of these hip hop anthems.
Yeah.
Like, you know, were you fans of the sound prior to? Like, I mean, again, last year's, you know, the 50th year of hip hop and everything. So we 50 years into this thing, you know, and in the last 30 years, there's been a lot of the music that we're talking about. And your voices are, like I said, stamped on this music. Prior to that, like, were you in tune with what hip hop was or rap?
For me, I was so R&B. You know, just all about, even when we would go into the studio when we first started, Tracy can probably answer the same, with the hip hop world, they would bring us back some, like, no, that's too much. No, that's too much grit. We had to simplify it and just make it really bouncy and give them what they want. So we learned the hard way, but the good way, to give them what they want and simplify it. But yeah, I wasn't quite as in tune because of that world, the other world that I was in, you know, but you grow and you learn and you listen, and yeah, it becomes a part of you.
Right. And it's a true. Go ahead, Tracy.
Dub C, tunes.
Yes.
Tunes.
Man, I mean, I have worked with, in my head, I'm thinking about in like all these various hooks that can go on and on. I think I told Skylar maybe last week, I'm listening to, you know, we be clubbing and all I hear is her voice and everything. And I'm like, it's a trip when I hear it and I'm like driving and I'm like, yo, that's right.
Yeah, that's
oh, that's
Boogie, oogie, oogie. Yeah.
go and give them a little bit. Go ahead.
And you know, you can't turn on 1580K Day without hearing. Anytime you turn it on, we hear our voices.
Yeah, they keep us alive.
West Coast hip hop, West Coast rap was predominantly, it became a signature sound that represented the West Coast in entirety. You know, again, me being from the Bay Area, Bay has our sound, but something about once we cross over those mountains and we start coming down the 5 and getting down into the valleys and stuff, you know, it was now the West Coast sound and everything. Being vocalist and being in this sound, you know, how important do you feel it was for the both of you to really put down the female voice and to make it as important in these hooks and everything? Because I know they asked you to sing it, but looking back on it now, it's very signature as far as what you guys did as vocalists. How important do you think it is now to understand the importance of it being what it is?
I just think, you know, because we are real vocalists, like some of the music that you hear today, you could tell it wasn't real singers maybe singing the hooks and whatnot, but it's an honor to stamp a signature sound on a piece of history in music. When R&B was really taking a nosedive, when hip hop off, so I would always say, you know what, rap really saved my life for those people that didn't really get it, or the old heads that like, blah blah blah, you know what the saying would be. I'm like, these fellas saved my whole life and boosted my career.
Wow. Tracy, you want to tag in on that?
I agree with her. I agree that, like I said, they keep us alive. They keep us relevant. The music that we sang on keeps us relevant. People still got to reach back and pull from old music to get to what they're doing now, you know, and everybody. So I agree with her. You know, we're totally relevant, and it's very important for us, because I think back at some of the folks that did things back in the days, a lot of paperwork wasn't done properly. A lot of people didn't get the rights that they were supposed to have. And I would tell you, the rappers have treated me and Skylar well, making sure that our names end up on things to be in the history. So I agree with her. I mean, this is like, I've got chills still that you're doing this podcast. But I agree with Skylar on them saving our lives, period. Because like I said, they thought rap was not going to last. I had a feeling it was, because it's creativity. It's where you came from.
Yeah.
It's how you're living. It's how you want to live. Everything is involved in it. And you've got young millionaires now, and hopefully they go in the right channels to make things happen for people and make sure people stay relevant. So it's important. It's really important.
Right.
It's important.
And it's interesting you guys both make that statement, because as I'm thinking in my head, curating a sound that generates and transcends worldwide. When we think of rap now, and you think about all the iconic artists that have come out and spearheaded by Dr. Dre, you had a 50 Cent from New York come get the West Coast sound. If you get that West Coast sound, you're going to get them West Coast girl singers on your thing. And I say that because before, and I could be wrong, but in my eyes, before West Coast embellished to be what it is, there weren't ladies singing on hip hop songs.
Man's World, huh?
You know, and when I think about early hip hop and everything, and I'm a hip hop head, everybody knows that. You know what I mean? But really didn't have a lot of ladies singing. You know what I mean? We had the ladies of hip hop, wanna funk you right on up, gonna funk you. But it's so funny because you had them and they were rapping. That was, who we now know as Angie Stone now. Right. But they were equally rappers as well, and doing it. Right. Shout out to my girl Sean Rock. But they were doing that thing. But then when we fast forward to a producer like Dre, who understood that not only are we going to play the instruments,
yes.
we're going to play the instruments. We might, but we're going to recreate and play this junk live.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get real singers to come sing this part up.
How about that?
You know what I mean? So when you come in there and you get the, hey, you sitting over there, you better get up out of your, you know what I mean? It was like, come on. And we got that from the Funky, but he knew to get and to put, the ladies on it. So again, I understand, and big kudos to Dre again, for allowing and spearheading a sound to transcend and making a formula. I talked to a producer friend of mine in a couple of podcasts previously, and we talked about the formula that was built in the Bay Area. Well, that formula has started and was built in LA, in the West Coast. And you guys, right?
I got the formula works. Ice Cube on Yo-Yo too, because he brought Yo-Yo out, and Yo-Yo was a stamp for the female rappers.
Yeah.
Talking about female rappers, I know we mentioned a lot of male rappers like the Ice Cubes and the Dub C's and Snoops and everything. But have you guys had the opportunities to work? I know you guys both were working with Yo-Yo at her school.
Yes.
School of Rap.
Yeah, Yo-Yo School of Rap. Yeah. We've done a few things with her. I haven't recorded anything with her. I think we did a TV.
Yeah, I have.
But we were both actually instructors at Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop.
Wow.
Doing voice and putting together. It was wonderful.
Working with the kids.
Yeah.
How important is it for you guys both to continue the mission and the vocal point as far as what's happening? Especially when we listen to where music is going now, do we feel a trend falling off, or do you feel like, okay, you know what, we got to keep this banner going? Do you feel the fight of it?
I feel the fight of it. Well, we got to keep it going, because the newer generations that are coming up, what do? They go back and listen to what was done then, because we all have to be inspired by something.
Right.
And have to get some ideas. I have a nephew right now that he's like, Auntie, I'm just ready, and I'm going to give a shout out to Christian Simmons. He's probably watching. There are the young ones, they want it. He's a heck of a rapper and artist. We'll go back from the old, listen to it, and revamp and revive that, and put another fresh life into that, to the new things coming up.
Come on, newbies. It's about reaching back, right? It's about reaching back. Both of you ladies are artists within your own rights and everything. Any new stuff coming up? I know, Skylar, you've released a couple of independent albums, and I know, Tracy, you as well. What we got coming down the pipeline?
Well, Tracy, well, we've actually been at the table multiple times and for multiple years, talking of doing oh my God, did I just draw a blank? Not a, what am I trying to say?
Documentary?
Thank you. I'm so excited. But doing a documentary with the voices, with the ladies behind hip hop.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I'm sure that'll come. It just takes work. And every time we start, we go to work, we get out on a tour, or we're working on another project. But yeah, I'm definitely, far as myself, will start working on a new project for myself. And this time with content, I have 2 projects out, but they don't really have any content. So we'll do that. I'm doing a magnificent show called The Magical Music of Motown. Going back to Gladys Knight, that's like one of the
amazing. It's amazing.
Grapevine.
I sing the video.
You know, which I'm so honored to sing and so happy that it's received well. And just going in, and we have other projects that we are doing backing vocals on and things of that nature. We recently did something with Cube in Tracy's studio. We actually did all the vocals and everything, and we sent it to Cube, and he signed off on it. So we're looking.
Waiting for that to drop.
I'm sorry, love.
I said we're waiting on that to drop.
Yeah.
So hurry up and wait.
Yeah. So we keep irons in the fire, y'all. We keep irons in the fire.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You saw I give shout out to Craig Boudonnaire, who's out of Australia. He put this whole show together with Kathy Merrick and myself and Masta and Julio and an all-star band, y'all. This band is amazing. John.
Amazing.
Absolutely
amazing.
And Miss Tracy has a whole working studio and everything.
Yeah.
Tracy, the businesswoman. What we got going on, love?
You know what? I've always wanted to do this. I want to do some house music. I've been doing it off and on. I'll do a little bit of something and then, you know, release it and do a little bit of something. But I think I really want to go over to Europe and just kind of concentrate for a whole 6 months on something for me, because I've loved it. I mean, when I would go to Europe with Barry and Mr. White and several other people, and I would just, Anastasia, being there in Paris for a year, living in Paris, it was just house music everywhere, and it was nonstop. People were happy all the time.
Yeah.
And I love the whole syncopation of it. So I truly want to get with my boy Gary, our brother Gary, G Money, and see if I can get some more tracks from him and get some things popping off. Because I mean, you know, if I could do it in a ghost manner, I will do it. Doesn't matter. I just want to do it. So staying busy.
Yeah.
Good. And one thing I can say about the both of you, what I admire about you both, is the fact that you guys both have never limited yourself as far as when it comes to various genres and everything. I mean, again, we're talking about you being the women of hip hop and West Coast rap, but at the same time, you know, I know you guys are saying Tainted Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us
We
about
love him.
what's that whole scene like? I mean,
We love him.
So super fun, you know.
Super fun.
He's from Soft Cell.
Soft
You
Cell.
know,
Right.
yeah. And we just really have fun. Every time he comes to America, he calls me and Tracy if we're available. We go and do gigs with him. But yeah, that's amazing.
And you also recently just worked with a Prince protege, correct?
Yes, Marva
King. And what was that like?
She's
You can tell
phenomenal.
she comes from the school of get in and grind, because you know, she's really great to work with, very particular on her vocals, but we worked hard to get her stuff right. But that's what we do anyway. But yeah, that was really fun.
Yes.
All
All right.
right.
How long did Tracy and Skylar work together? How long have you guys worked together? Just forever?
Tracy, we've been mid-90s.
Ooh, yeah, 95.
95.
Actually,
we've been working.
Met her in 90. I was so excited. She was
And tell us how that happened.
she hit that note. Ooh, she was sweet. She was singing, and she hit this note, and I walked up to the side of the stage, and I said, "Oh my God, you got to be my sister. Who are you? Oh my God!" And I just exchanged numbers with her that night, and I swear, this woman called me within 2 or 3 days, and we were working on the twins stuff. Like something happened, and they needed a girl, and she called me, and ever since the gel, it's been glue. And just like you, when I met you, it's glue.
Yeah.
It's something's gel, and I tell you, y'all for life are the glue.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited. This happened right here. This happened right this week. I tell you.
Yeah. And that's
Oh
that
my
was
God.
wonderful day that was,
Someone,
you know. But we
someone throw this out there. They said, Tracy and Skylar, give us a quick story on the best and worst experiences while doing vocals on a classic hip hop song.
go ahead, Tracy, because my worst is your story.
I'm trying to.
The best is hearing we got it. It's fantastic. You know, when we hear we got it, that's great. You know, that's like the best. And also the best is hearing that back on radio or on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the greatest. The
Ray telling us is great is
golden.
the compliment of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But the worst is like when we'd be in the studio and Tracy would come up with something, you know, because I'm more laid back and reserved. Tracy's like, no, what about this? What about that? What about this? He would shut her down.
I pissed me off, I tell you. But I was just, you just gotta stay in there and you just keep smiling.
Yeah, but he did it in love, Tracy. He did it in love.
Wow.
Like that was his nice way of vetoing the idea.
Right.
So I guess the worst part
here's a question for you. Which current artist would be a dream collab?
Miss Monae.
Miss Monae and Skylar. For me, Miss Monae and Skylar, and for me.
Yeah, I think that would be
a dream for me.
What? Yeah. It's coming. All right, I got something.
Got some.
Always. Let's go.
You always up to something. That's why we love you.
You know where to find us, right? You know where to find us.
Everyone is saying you're such class acts. They're laughing at your stories. So much love in this room for everybody that's love to say. I love all three of y'all. We love y'all.
We love you back. Thank you for tuning in.
Everybody is showing so much love and
it's such a blessing. Thank you, Monae. Thank you.
Man, thank you. Like I said, I wanted to give you guys your flowers and allow you to tell your stories, especially as you're starting to, curate this documentary, and we want it to come out. Please allow that to happen so they can understand the importance of the female voice and how important it was, what it did for West Coast music. Because again, lyrically, it was dope. Don't get me wrong, but that song don't roll unless we hear them vocals.
Yeah,
I know you're bobbing your head. Like what he say?
Lacing the track.
What?
Lacing the track.
So much. Before I let you go, any advice you ladies would like to give to the people, someone listening right now, or saying, you know what, I get the cast all the time. Well, how can I get in, or how can I get in the studio with Dre? Well, hold up. Okay. I don't know if it's gonna be Dre, but any advice you can give?
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna honestly say that it's the gift that keeps giving.
Call Dre the gift because it keeps giving. I mean, just even from royalties and just the love that going to the Walk of Fame, being invited to that.
Absolutely.
Man Cube. I mean, they do show us love, and we definitely give that love right back. I would say to the up and coming, just don't give up. You're gonna get a bunch of no's, and I know that sounds like everybody, but it's so true. If you're passionate about what you're doing, the no's won't matter because you're gonna keep going, because somebody's gonna give a yes, and they're gonna see your vision and see your dream. So keep going, girl.
Cover everything you do. Cover your lyrics, cover your music. Record everything that you go into the studio to do. Keep your little record it on your phone, because it could end up anywhere. It could end up on compilations, and you will never know where it is unless you copy it. So please remember to copy everything you do. I don't care if it's 2 words. Copy it and make sure that you get it taken care of, like licensed, everything.
Do your homework, y'all.
And I tell you right now, being in the studio and with these two, let me tell you, that Trey Nelson, she do not play.
Romeo Johnson.
We love you, Romeo.
She don't play.
I do no paperwork. Thank you.
How do people find you guys on your social media? Please shout them out.
Okay, I'm Skylar with an E, Skyler. Jordan, like in Michael Jordan, because I want to do for music what Michael Jordan did for basketball. And also SkylarJordanmusic.com is my website, so you can find me on there.
Trey.
Tracy Nelson. I am Trace Lover on IG. You can find me there. That's TraceLuva, Trace Lover. You can find me there. I am everywhere. I enjoy people. Hit me up. Love you.
Tommy.
Couple of
We
weeks
go
ago.
to college.
Yeah, and she's going to Cal State Dominguez. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and,
Shout out to my family, the Nelsons, the Lees. Love y'all.
and Sharon, I know you're watching. Hey, Uncle. Look, we're giving all our props out, huh?
Sharon.
Oh my God.
Chris,
It's so much love. You guys have so much
guys.
love. People coming on here. And I also want to shout out our girl, Makita. She is now
Yes.
a Mary Jane girl.
Yes,
Oh.
she is.
She-
Yeah.
Doing her thing. So we want to give her love. And I also, because we all worked with this woman and she was just pretty much a platform and a blueprint for us with knowing and not knowing, but ended up being just family. Miss Tina Marie. This has been awesome. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to give you your flowers and your props so they could know none of this music would be what it was if it wasn't for y'all.
Yeah, thank you, Monae. We love you.
It wouldn't be nothing. It wouldn't.
We truly appreciate
it
you
just
guys.
be a song with some dope ass lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love y'all both. I love y'all. And y'all see the records behind them, right? Y'all see that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please give it up for my hearts, my loves, Miss Tracy Nelson, Miss Skylar Jordan, in the house, women of West Coast rap. Give it up. Give it up to them. This is
West Coast love, y'all, all around the world.
Another great talk about it. We did it. Make sure you tap in with your girl. If you're not following me, click my link. You go to my YouTube page. This will be edited and put on that pretty soon. And follow my girls. In a minute, I have another great person for next week. And I'm out.
We love Mom.
Love you too.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What I'm looking forward to right now in life is all the exciting things that are happening around me every day. Being able to share with you who I am.